is brought to you by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. By General Motors. At General Motors, safety isn't one thing, it's everything. By McDonald & Company, for all your investment needs. By the GM Card, the new financial vehicle. By Stroh's Draft Light, the new generation of beer for a new generation of beer drinkers. And by the M-Den. Wear what the Victors wear, the Michigan varsity locker room at the M-Den. It's the only game in town.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Michigan Replay. Well, for the first time all season, the Wolverines get a breather. 58-7 Saturday over Minnesota. And, Coach Moeller, you got to absolutely love having one of those breathers.
Well, there's no question about that, Jim. And it was a great victory. And the reason, because our defense dominated so well and our special teams really took charge.
You said something Saturday after the game I thought was really key. You got after people. You really got aggressive defensively, and that set the tone.
Right, and we've been doing that. We did it in the Penn State game, lost it for a couple weeks, and we've done it the last 2 weeks. And like I said a week ago, that Purdue victory was a very big victory because of the people we had in there and how hard we played.
They played hard, and, of course, it sure manifested itself on Saturday when the Wolverines blew Minnesota right out of the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. Don't go away. We'll be back and take a look at the victory in Minneapolis when we return on Michigan Replay.
The game, and the special teams came with some big plays. And you know, anytime you can go down there and start the game on your own 15 and get a field goal, and then another block punt and get a touchdown, capitalize on those mistakes, you can put a game away early like we did today.
Todd Collins having an awful good day at Minneapolis, beating the Minnesota Gophers. But the offense just took advantage of what the defense got started for you, and it was the opening possession of the game. Buster Stanley got the defense going right off the bat.
Right, Buster, I can't say enough about him, Jim. He's just been unbelievable for us, and what a great leader.
And again, there's that aggressive defense that got you started going.
Right, and now we're going to hit a field goal, which was great. I thought Pete kicked very well, and Remy Hamilton had a long one.
A little disappointed, though, you didn't move the ball after you got it right down close.
We picked up a first down, then we tried to sweep, and they had a blitz, and then they threw us for a big loss. Then we tried 2 passes, and we didn't connect on. Here, Walter Smith comes from the right side here, blocks a punt, does an excellent job. Stephen King picks it up, going to run it in, and he gets hauled down from behind, but that set up our next touchdown.
There are the special teams going to work again. The next touchdown, good to see old number 6 back in the lineup after a couple of weeks off.
Tyrone adds so much in there because he's such a weapon. He can do things like this, and the defense really has to give him special attention, and he makes a big play there, and he's very excited.
10-0 at this point, and really you haven't moved the ball that well, but Minnesota can't either, and that's the key.
Right, and Steve Rakowski comes in here, and Steve has been a great player for us, Jim, in many respects. He's hung in there as a fifth-year senior. He's done everything we've asked him to do, and it was a great sack by him.
Big plays. You knew you were going to be able to get big plays against Minnesota because they're such a blitzing team.
Right, we had to do it here, and Todd, under a lot of pressure, throws a strike to Derek, and they run him down inside the 10, but a great play there for a 55-yard pickup.
And on the goal line, your counter Trey, and Wheatley walks in, and at this point, it's starting to look awful good. 17-zip.
Well, that helps. There's no question about that. We got some things going, but the field position and long passing, as you knew, Jim, going in, we'd have to hit some of these passes.
They were able to get some yardage through the air, but you stopped them on the ground, and here again, big play by the defense. Winters causes the fumble, picked up by Thompson.
Right. They hit Douglas there, Omar Douglas, who's a great receiver, and Clarence Thompson, a freshman, is running this back, and as you indicated, Chuck Winters, our free safety, caused the fumble.
And again, Wheatley coming back. You wanted to play him some. You want to get him in game shape. And on this run particularly, I thought he looked game shape.
Right. He gets outside, does a little dodging here, and accelerates, and then he runs strong right here. Those are the things Tyrone can do in keeping his feet. And I wanted to get him more carries, to be honest with you, Jim. Here Todd goes back. Walter Smith runs an excellent route, finds him in the end zone, and that was a big play.
24-0 at this point, and you're into the second quarter. And things are going well for you, and it continue to go well.
Right, this is a good coverage sack here. We had good coverage there, and Will Carr, one of our true freshmen, comes through with a big sack there.
Then you almost special teams turn it around and go the distance. Derek Alexander, you thought he was going to go on this.
Yes, I did. He had a 20, 25-yarder here, and does a good job cutting, weaving, breaks the outside, and the guy gets him just from by the ankles there. And, you know, when you block 2 punts and you have a punt return of 20 yards, that's going to help your scoring.
Eddie Davis on the draw, and well blocked, and once you get past those blitzing linebackers, it's over.
Right. Eddie did a good job. He had a good run there. We'll see a good screen pass later, and that really kind of put the thing out of reach, so to speak, so early in the game.
Special teams again. This one time Tyrone Noble gets the block.
Right. He really got in there, Jim. I couldn't believe how far he was in there. He darn near blocked the thing with his legs. I think, in fact, he did. And again, setting us in good field position.
And Tumanga Biakavatuka picking up where he left off last week.
Right, same play that Wheatley hit earlier, just going the other way and scoring a touchdown there, making it 38-0.
38-0. We're still in the first half, and Michigan still not done. You go to Jay Remersma before the end of the half, your backup quarterback, and here's Eddie Davis.
Yeah, we had some backup people in there, Jim, and Eddie has a good run there, and we're getting field position here, and we had a late substitution. The clock goes down to 1 second, and Remy Hamilton hits a long field goal.
And that makes it 41-0 at half. Only question about the first half, you got a 17-0 lead, 4th and inches in your own territory. You go for it. I thought that was a little bit risky.
Well, yeah, I felt, Jim, we could make that, and I wanted to hang on to the ball, and I wanted to control the ball and try to help our defense. We had a little luxury there, to be honest with you. We were up 17-0, and we had a couple inches to go, and most times you would punt that away, but there's times where you had to be ready to go for those things and have the ability to make it. In this case, John Ritchie made it.
And that was a big play in the game. If they don't make it, Minnesota might come back with some momentum. But they didn't. The Wolverines just continued to roll in the second half. Don't go away. We'll be back to take a look at those highlights when Michigan Replay continues.
We ain't have to cover them but for, you know, a couple seconds and sit back there, you know, and just pick off the balls.
Well, they certainly picked off enough passes in the second half, but with a 41-0 lead going into the second half, what do you tell your kids?
Well, you tell them the key thing now is we got to watch and we got to grade for improvement to see if we can continue to get better and that we're not going to let up. It's hard to tell the kids. You try to, honestly, it's 0-0, but they don't always buy that, Jim.
And you had to be a little disappointed. Amani Toomer gets a great return going, but at the end of it, he fumbles the football. So that wasn't the way you wanted to start the second half.
No, he had a great return here, about 49 yards, and then right there, I don't know if the ground caused it or not, but they ruled a fumble and they recovered it.
But on a sudden change, your defense comes up and makes another big play.
Who else but Buster Stanley, Jim? And he causes a fumble here, and luckily, fortunately for them, Eckers, the quarterback, goes back and recovers his own fumble.
You get the ball back and immediately look for the big play against their blitzing defense.
Right, we probably, Jim, could have done this more often today. The one thing we had to do, and Amani gets behind him, and Todd gets it over. This is a great catch here and hanging on to the ball. And, of course, if both people catch the ball, which I think Amani caught it, then you get reward, or you award it to the offense. And then Wheatley around right in for a 1-yard touchdown in his third of the day.
That was on a 4th and goal play, too. You wanted to make sure you stuck it in the end zone?
4th and 1 from the 1, right. Here they come back, and they had a little trickery and fake a punt. And we had Mercury Hayes in there for Derek Alexander, and he came up and made a good tackle. But kind of caught us off guard there, which led to their touchdown.
The only touchdown of the day, Eckers goes to their tight end in the end zone, and really the only time they were able to make a big play necessarily against you.
Right. They did a good job there. It's a good route, but you also saw, Jim, there, no pressure on the quarterback, which was one of the few times, because most of the time we stayed on him well.
And then you're just basically playing deep zones. Ty Law gets the pick, and this is something you had to be delighted with. Your secondary hadn't gotten a lot of interceptions, and they came up with some on Saturday.
Right. I think Ty Law has really stepped up his game, and he has to do that for us. He has that kind of ability, and he has to make sure he continues to do it.
Wheatley goes around wide right. You're just running the football in a lot of instances here. A lot of backup people playing. Remersma still in the ball game. Nice screen pass here to Eddie Smith.
Yeah, Eddie Davis here on the right side. He makes a good cut here, and he picks up 21 yards on a 1st and 21, really. So Eddie did a good job for us, and Jay got the ball to him. Here's Mercury Hayes on a reverse. We about got this out. Just right here, we pick up about 15 yards, and Merck does a good job.
And that misdirection against that defense flowing toward action really helped out. Couldn't get it in the end zone. Elizabeth comes on, hits a good field goal. Boy, it's nice kicking off artificial surface, isn't it?
Well, I think it really has your kickers really get confident, and that's something we need. But his walk, his line, and everything was a lot better.
Pick off another one, this time Diallo Anderson.
Right, Diallo adds a lot for us. What he does, he goes in there and plays linebacker some in our nickel and dime package, which helps us defend the pass very well.
Jason Carr an opportunity to play.
Right, Jason does a good job here on a semi-blitz, threads the needle to Monty Toomer and does a good job.
Come back and close the game out right here. Tim Biakavatuka, he goes in, 58-7 the final, and again, you had to be delighted. You got a lot of kids in the game. Everybody you took played, didn't they?
Right, no question about that, and that's kind of things that you like to have.
Here is the Norwegian Cruise Line play of the game, and it is the blocked punt. Steve King gets it. Walter Smith, of course, was the guy that blocked it, and that sets up the first score, and that really set the tone, special teams defense for the game, and you got to pick that as a play of the game.
No question about it. That one probably turned the entire thing around. It showed them that, hey, Michigan came to play. And that's the thing sometimes on the road that you have to do.
And there was another play that kind of indicated that, too. Jean-Agnes Charles really ripped their good running back, Darkins. Great hit, good legal hit on the sideline. Just sent him backwards, seemed to set the entire defense in the tone for a real physical game.
And, Jim, that's the thing we've been missing. And it happens sometimes when you got a lot of young guys in there. But when you get a hit like that, people can rally around it. And it's like, hey, this is what we're supposed to do. Everybody wants to get in on a party, so to speak, and they all start doing it.
Real quickly, the disappointing thing, you still aren't sure you blocked as well as you should?
No, we got to run the ball better. We have to run the ball better, and it's going to be very, very important this week.
Going to be very important against Ohio State. Also, you have an opportunity that Tuesday before Thanksgiving, the Michigan football bust is coming up at the Westin Hotel Renaissance Ballroom. Your opportunity to honor this Michigan football team. For ticket information, call area code 313-675-BUST or 645-9743. Both numbers in the 313 area code. But make sure, if you want to honor this club that Tuesday night, Michigan football bust, always a good time downtown Detroit. Don't go away. More Michigan replay coming your way, including the Victors Club team. That's next.
This is a Michigan team, Young guys are stepping up. They're getting a lot of playing time, and they're performing to their ability. They ain't worried about making mistakes. Now, this is Michigan defense just swarming out there.
I've been thinking.
U of M Athletics supports itself completely. The department does it with revenues from ticket sales, television, and private donors. The private support comes mainly from the Victors Club.
Because maybe people don't think we're as good as Ohio State or can't compete with them and they might blow us out, but that's definitely not the case. We played great football today, and we just got to continue the next week, and definitely our biggest challenge is right in front of us, and we're going to be ready for it.
Joe's absolutely right. There's no bigger challenge than Ohio State, and the Buckeyes are a team with an enormous amount of talent, and I know that their team you respect a great deal, and the talent starts at quarterback.
Well, there's no question. Their greatness, so Jim, is up front. They're powerful on both sides of the ball, and they've split duty between the two quarterbacks, and here you see Hoeing, who is their starter, so to speak, who has 7 touchdowns on the year.
Throwing to Joey Galloway, who's a Desmond Howard-type player, and Brett Powers, their backup quarterback's just as effective.
He comes right back, and he throws a deep one here to Galloway again, and what a wide receiver he is. You got to give him special attention, and that's what leaves this guy, Raymond Harris, who has been an outstanding back. I think yesterday against Indiana, he carried the ball 30-some-odd times, so he's really a workhorse and a very determined young man, and is a senior.
And up front, this is a guy that is extra special, Dan Wilkinson.
Extra special is right, and he's probably what their whole team rallies around because their defense is so good up front, and he's one of those top picks supposedly in the pros. And this Lorenzo Styles is his final linebacker. He's got great movement as there is in the Big Ten as well.
Walter Taylor, their free safety, their leading secondary guy, but You know, and they get a lot of work back there because you can't run the football in Ohio State with Wilkinson running around.
Right, and what they can do, Jim, unlike a Minnesota team, they can leave a lot of people in their coverage package, and you don't get receivers wide open because they can handle most teams with just 7 people up front. They don't have to involve the 8th guy because of Wilkinson and their linebackers. Great linebacking core.
It seems paradoxical, but your whole key is stop the run, stop Harris, and then you put the ball in Joey Galloway's hands. So, but that's what you got to do, right?
Right. And the problem when we have, can we stop the run with just 7 people? Sometimes we got to involve the 8th person. If we could stop him with 7, then we can give Galloway some extra attention. But we're going to have to mix that up, and they have a lot of guns. And as I said, the thing that makes this a good football team is the up front walls, both offensively and defensively. And we must run the football, and that's where our work has to begin.
Run the football against Ohio State. It's Michigan-Ohio State week, kids, so get ready.